all, welcome to Let's Tute. To get more such videos, do subscribe to our channel and also press the bell icon to never miss an update from us. We also have courses from different subjects. Do check them out on our website www.letstute.com. So, let's start with today's session. In the last video, we talked about spherical mirrors and how they behave differently from plane mirrors. We left you with a question in that video. We all know what happens when you move back and forth in front of a mirror. Your image in the mirror gets smaller and bigger respectively. But what happens when you move back and forth in front of a spherical mirror? Well, let's figure that out now. It depends a lot on which spherical mirror we are talking about. We talked about the different types of spherical mirrors in the last video. If you need a refresher, then you can watch the previous video from the link in the description below. The two types of spherical mirrors are convex and concave mirrors. Let's first look at the convex mirror. In the ray diagram, if we keep our object here, we take two rays from the top of our object, one parallel to the principal axis that will reflect in such a way that it appears to come from the focus, while the other ray goes in the direction in line with the center of curvature. This ray is reflected back onto itself and thus seems to come out of the center of curvature. Using this, we can see that the image formed is virtual between the pole and the focus and is smaller than the object. If we move it away, we again see that the image is virtual between the pole and the focus and is again smaller than the object. In fact, for any position of the object, the image will be virtual between the pole and the focus and smaller than the object. If you move back and forth in front of a convex mirror, the image does not move a lot but gets smaller if you move away from the mirror. Now that we have solved this problem for convex mirrors using ray diagrams, we can do the same for concave mirrors too, right? We can, but making every possible ray diagram for all the object positions is tedious and inefficient way, which is why we need a formula to answer this question easily and quickly. Thus, we are going to use this mirror formula from now on. The mirror formula is an easy yet powerful formula which has multiple uses. This is the mirror formula. Here, U represent the object distance measured from the pole, V is the image distance from the pole, and F is the focal length. But before we dive right in and start solving problems, we need to know the rules to follow while using this formula. Rule number 1. The light incident on the mirror always comes from the left. So, the object is always on the left of the mirror. This is done to avoid confusion during the use of the formula. Rule number 2. All distances are measured from the pole of the mirror. And lastly, rule number 3. Distances measured to the left of the pole are negative, while distances measured to the right of the pole are positive. Similarly, distances measured above the principal axis are positive, while distances measured below the principal axis are negative. The only reason these rules exist is convenience and to avoid confusion. These rules give us a sign for the focal length of two mirrors. If we look at concave mirror, the parallel rays from infinity meet at the focus, which is seen to be to the left of the pole. Thus, the focal length of a concave mirror is negative. Similarly, the parallel rays from infinity when incident on a convex mirror seems to be diverging from the focus, which is to the right of the pole. Thus, the focal length of a convex mirror is positive. Let's look at some examples on how to use the mirror formula. What happens if we have an object on the center of curvature of concave mirror? Where will the image be formed? If we look at the ray diagram, we can see that the image is again formed at the center of curvature right below the object. Let's see if our formula gives us the same answer. Here, the object distance U is the radius of the curvature, but as shown in the previous video, the radius of curvature is just 2 times the focal length. And since this is a concave mirror, the focus is to the left of the pole. So U will be equal to minus 2f. Here the focal length is f, but since this is a concave mirror, it is negative. So putting this in the formula and rearranging, we can see that the image distance is minus 2f, which is exactly the radius of curvature. So our formula gave us the same results as the ray diagram, but the formula can give us even more information. The magnification of a spherical mirror is given by this formula. If we now look at our mirror formula and then multiply both sides by U, we can see that magnification is given by this formula, which just requires the focal length of the mirror and the object distance. Thus, not only does the mirror formula give us the position of the image, but also the size of the image with respect to the size of the object. So now that we know all this, we can explain without using ray diagrams why the image formed by a convex mirror is always smaller than the object and is always virtual. First, let's look at the magnification using the formula we just derived. The focal length of a convex mirror is always positive while the object distance is always negative. Putting the signs in the formula, we can see that the numerator is positive and will always be smaller than the denominator. Thus, the fraction as a whole will be positive but smaller than 1. What does this mean? Well, the size of the image is found by multiplying the magnification with the object size. So, if the object is say 10 cm tall, a positive magnification would not change the sign of the object size, while a magnification of less than 1 will cause the product to be smaller than 10 centimeters. This means that the image is erect and smaller than the object, and we know only virtual images are erect, thus the image is virtual and smaller than the object. Since we did not use any specific position of the object, the result we found is correct for all object positions of a convex mirror. Let's end with one problem. A concave mirror produces a real 4 times magnified image of an object placed 10 cm away from the mirror. Find the position of the image and the radius of the curvature of the mirror. Let's write down what we know. We know that the magnification is 4 times, and since the image is real, m will be equal to minus 4. We also know that m is equal to minus v upon u. Thus, v will be equal to minus 4u, which will be equal to minus 40 centimeters. So the image is formed 40 centimeters to the left of the mirror. Now, using the mirror formula, we can find the focal length of the mirror. We can see that f is equal to minus 8 centimeters. Thus, the radius of curvature is just 2f or minus 16 centimeters. Hopefully, you now understand the mirror formula for spherical mirrors. I encourage you to do more problems from this concept so that you have intuitive understanding for it. Well, if you have liked this video, then please hit the like button and comment down if you have any queries or doubts. We also have courses from different subjects. Do check them out on our website www.letstude.com. And yes, do subscribe to our channel. Lastly, don't forget to hit the bell icon and never miss another update from Let's Dude. Till then, keep watching, keep learning, and follow your curiosity. Thank you.